Here's our next video on multiples and finding the least common multiple. So go ahead and get your notes set up. Same learning standard 6NS4, finding common factors and multiples. And this one is I can find the least LCM, the least common multiple of two whole numbers less than or equal to 12.
You have vocabulary word that we need to discuss. So you need to write multiple down on your spiral. And then when he clicks and reviews, multiple of a number is the product of a number and another whole number. Think of counting by your number or your multiplication chart. So we are going up. The multiples are 4, or 4 times 1 is 4, then 8. 4 times 3 is 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. You're counting up. You're multiplying the number to make that product. Ooh.
All right. So we're going to use those multiples to find something called the LCM, or the, of course it's locked. There we go, the one we didn't check. The least common multiple is the smallest multiple that they have in common. So as you're looking at multiples, think of your multiplication table. If you were to read across the 5 row in a multiplication table, those are all the multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20.
So you're looking to find the least common multiple. This needs to be right underneath your vocabulary word that you wrote down, LCM, and that definition. You will then write to find the least common multiple. You need to list out the multiples of each number until you find one in common.
So we're going to see that in action here, but make sure all of this is written into your notes. So we want to find the least common multiple, the LCM of 12 and 10. The easiest way to do it is just to count by 12s, count by 10s, see what is the first number, the least, the smallest that they have in common. So 12, don't forget 12 is the first multiple. 12 times 1, then 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, and 108. And we can keep going if we end up needing to.
I get the easy one. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now that I have the least one that they have in common, I can go ahead and stop and circle the 60. The 60 is the least common multiple for 12 and 10. And yes, we know that you've done this in elementary school. We are reviewing so we can use this week.
So what if we have to do it with 3 numbers? Same rules apply. List out the multiples for all 3 numbers and what's the first number that appears in all 3 lists. So start with 8. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. Remember, if you get stuck, use your multiplication table. 64, 72, 80, 88. I think it's 96. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36.
Apparently I write slow.
42, 48, 54, 60, 66. How high do you want to go? 72. You're just going to keep going? Oh, you need to get them.
We've got to get high enough. And we can't always know what we need to aim for. Last is our 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 99 if you want to keep showing off. And then now it's time to sort through our list and find what do they have in common.
72.
I see a 72.
72
is the smallest number that shows up in all 3 lists. It's the smallest number that I could make with an 8. I can also make with a 6, and I can make with a 9. They all go into that number together.
So yes, sometimes you're going to have to go larger than times 12. The science department buys the equipment shown in the table. They bought all 3 items this year. In how many years will they have to buy all 3 again? Because they are over different intervals, and this is happening in the future, this is the least common multiple problem. You're trying to figure out when 5, 4, and 2 are going to be bought so that they are all bought on the same day. So, what the heck are you doing?
Microscopes, goggles, and test tubes.
All right,
so we're starting at So say this is year 0. We bought all of these. We want to know when are we going to buy them again. So we're counting out into the future.
5 years.
So microscopes are every 5 years. So 5 years later I'm going to buy them. And then 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So I'm just counting by 5s.
I mean, get
and we
yourself
never know
enough
for
to work
sure
with.
how far to go. And we can always add some more later if we need to.
Right. So 4.
For goggles, we're going by 4s.
8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay.
And then test tubes are going to be every 2 years. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18,
Stop.
20. And hopefully you notice that 20 goes into 5, goes with 4, and goes with 2. So our least common multiple is going to be 20, which means in 20 years they will be buying microscopes again, and safety goggles, and test tubes.
And the word problem is, when are you going to do it in the future? All 3 items are going to occur again.
All right. See you in class.